Hello, everyone. I'm hoping I get this done this time. Third time's a charm. I've made 2 previous videos regarding this topic, and I didn't like either one of them. I'm just kind of rambling on, but I'm still trying to make it worth a listen. So this is about current silver prices and selling strategies. This is most of my stuff. Not all, but most. I have 11 10-ounce silver bars in here. And then inside the box here, I have a few other things, but it's not full because I started filling up some miscellaneous silver rounds tubes. So this is most of what I have. Not the biggest stack in the world, but that's part of what the video's about because I have sold some recently. I decided as the prices were going up that it would be interesting to try to sell some. I wasn't sure how fast it was going to go or how far it was going to go. So several weeks ago, I decided to sell my first item, which was a tube of silver rounds. A local gold and silver dealer / jewelry / pawn shop, whatever. I called them up and they were giving 10% off spot on government silver and about 15% off on generic silver rounds. So at the time, I brought in a tube of silver rounds. They took them, did a quick test, random test, about 3 different coins inside. Totally legit. And we settled on a price. I think the first one I got was $50 per round. I wrote it down on a piece of paper. So I think I got $1,000 for the tube. Now, everything that's here, I paid between $16 and I'm going to say $25 per ounce. A little more for the pandas and a little more for some of the other stuff. But generally speaking, and probably closer to the $20 mark. Anything, all the rounds, that's 16 to 18. And so $50, that's a times 3 profit. Right. 16 times 3 is 48. But a week later, sorry, I'm stumbling a little. A week later, the price kept going up, and I decided to sell a tube of Britannias like this, 25 in a tube. So I went to the same place. They gave me 10% off. But by now, the price had gone up, and I believe I was getting $60 a coin. And so I didn't hate that. Again, I'm buying these. This is a tube of 2016 Britannias, and I probably got them in maybe 2018. So I know I bought a lot of this stuff on credit card deals. Whereas I'd get an offer for a credit card, spend $500, we'll give you $200 back. Spend $500, we'll give you $150 back. And so if you spend $500 in silver and you get $150 back, I've spent $350 for $500 worth of silver. And now I'm getting a times 3 profit out of it. So there's no way I can be unhappy with that. But I also don't know how high it's going to go. And I know a lot of people think that going to any kind of dealer and getting below spot is almost a ripoff. I personally don't have a big problem with that. They're trying to make money. They're out there. I've been to the first guy I went to, and then I chose to go to a second guy a few days ago where I brought another tube of silver rounds. This time I kind of picked them out. They were my lesser favorite designs of silver rounds. Some had milk spots on them. And so I brought them to him straight up 10% off spot, period. It had no distinction between government and generic. And so I ended up getting $81 each for those silver rounds. Yeah, I'm a little disappointed that I didn't wait longer to start selling, but silver's gone up before, and then silver went back down before. It seemed to be like a strike while the iron is hot type of thing. I've watched several videos. There are some people that say it's going to go up to 100, it's going to go up to 200. They have these marks that they say if things hit, right? It goes once you get to the speculators, and they clear out what they think is going to be. It's just like in the comic book industry. Once you get a hot book, and then finally people, you get a $4 book and it starts selling for 20 and 30 and then 50 and then 100. Once you get to the speculators who are still buying it for 100, you're basically at the end of the line. And then you factor that in terms of the silver, what this video said, factor that in with a couple other economic things, and you'll see the peak right in front of you. I'm not that dialed in. And so $90 spot for silver, I can't imagine not being satisfied with an $81 per coin sellback, buyback, what have you. And so I know there are plenty of people that say, like I said before, that, purchasing for or selling for under spot is almost a ripoff. I don't see it that way. Everybody has rent and all this other stuff on their stores, and this guy had a pretty decent inventory of graded Morgans, a few graded Eagles, some generic this and that. It wasn't horrible, and he paid. I walked out of there with a check for like $2,500. There's no way I can complain about that. I ended up buying a couple things I had on my watch list on eBay. So I didn't just let the money go right into an envelope and watch it decrease by 1% here and 1% there over the course of several years. And while maybe silver keeps going up, I mean, I'm selling when I want, but I'm also watching when I sell. And so every week I keep waiting to see what silver's going to do the next week. It was Friday today. It went down a couple of dollars. Now it's back under 90. But still, when you're talking about silver being at under just over $90 an ounce, I could never have imagined this. And that's why I'm just wondering what everybody else. There's plenty of people out there that do more investigating. It's like stocks, they're into it every day. They're trying to find the trends and all this other stuff, but so this is what I have. Not bad. I got a stack of 2016 kookaburras. This is a factory roll. And then I have my Canadian wildlife. I have the kookaburras that run between 2011 and 2018. I've got China pandas here, 2008 through 2017 on top of these. I just happen to really like that particular case, that particular tray. I've got a lot of either generic. I got iguanas, gorillas, leopards, lions, and elephants. Not all these are rounds. Some of them are straight Fiji or African. The elephants are African. I got Perth koalas. I already showed the kookaburras. I've got the Queen's Beast. There's the entire set of Queen's Beasts that came out several years ago. Canadian wildlife, and then silver rounds, a couple tubes of silver eagles, a tube of the Britannias, and 2015 Australian kangaroos. That was when I think that was when they first came out as the Australian, their government bullion. Nice looking coins too. I have graded Morgans here, raw Morgan toners here. These are both toner boxes, and then I have some graded, like so much of us. I got some graded eagles from the crossover from when it went to 2021. The Type 1 to the Type 2 in 2021. I've got the new Star privies, the Eagle privies, but I don't get into that weird 8 era label, which is essentially a piece of paper on a graded slab where people are now buying it for $300 or $400. I mean, honestly, it's a piece of paper, but to each his own. So please, if you are interested in this video, I would appreciate a comment. Tell me if my thinking is wrong. Tell me if I should pay attention to something else. Let me know if you think my video was a waste of your time. I always appreciate negative and positive comments. Just, don't be nasty. But I appreciate any watchers, and thank you very much, and have a good day.